The winter wind cut through the narrow streets of the city like a silent knife, sharp and unforgiving. Snow clung to the edges of sidewalks, and the world felt grey, heavy with quiet struggles no one saw. Inside a small grocery store on the corner of Maple Avenue, a young single mother named Alina stood in line, her fingers trembling around a carton of milk. Her daughter, 6-year-old Mia, waited outside on a wooden bench, bundled in a thin coat that had once been bright pink but was now faded by years of wear. Alina checked her wallet again. 2 crumpled bills. Not enough. She swallowed hard. The cashier asked gently. Alina forced a smile, though her cheeks burned with shame. I'm so sorry. I need to return this. The cashier looked at her, then at the milk. Are you sure? Alina nodded. My daughter's sick. I thought I had enough. Her voice cracked on the last word. Behind her stood a tall man in a tailored black coat. His shoes were polished, his watch gleaming beneath the store's fluorescent lights. He wasn't someone who usually visited small grocery stores. His name was Victor Hale, a billionaire, known across the country for building one of the largest tech empires in the world. But today, he wasn't here as a businessman. He had stopped because his car had broken down nearby. And now, he stood still, watching. Alina placed the milk gently on the counter, as though returning something sacred. She avoided eye contact with everyone. Pride was the only thing she had left, and even that felt like it was slipping through her fingers. Victor stepped forward. I'll take that, he said calmly. Alina turned. Excuse me. The milk, he replied. Add it to my bill. Her eyes widened. No, I can't let you. It's just milk, he said softly. Please. The cashier scanned it again. Alina's hand shook. You don't understand. I don't want charity. Victor's expression changed. Not pity, but understanding. I do understand. Because he did. 25 years ago. He had been that hungry child waiting outside a store while his mother returned. Groceries she couldn't afford. He remembered the look in her eyes. The same one he saw now. Alina hesitated before whispering, Thank you. She stepped outside and handed the milk to Mia, who smiled weakly. Mama, you got it. Yes, baby, she said, brushing snow from her daughter's hair. Victor watched through the glass, but something in his chest wouldn't let him walk away. This wasn't about milk. It was about dignity, and something told him this moment wasn't meant to end here. Victor stared at the report. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't irresponsible. She was drowning quietly. The next morning, he returned to the grocery store and spoke to the owner. I want to cover her groceries, he said. For how long? The owner asked. Victor paused. For as long as she needs. But he knew that wasn't enough. A week later, Alina received an anonymous envelope. Inside was a prepaid grocery card. And a note. For Mia. From someone who remembers. Alina cried when she read it. Not because of the money, but because someone had seen her. Word began to spread, not about Victor, because he insisted on anonymity, but about a mysterious benefactor helping struggling families in the neighborhood. Victor didn't stop at Alina. He paid overdue rent for elderly tenants, covered school lunches, funded free medical checkups. But every decision traced back to that moment in the grocery store. Alina noticed something else. MIA's health began to improve. With proper food and medication, her coughing lessened. She laughed more, played longer. One evening, there was a knock at Alina's door. It was Victor. He had decided to meet her properly. I hope you're not upset, he began gently. You, she whispered. It was you. He nodded. Why? She asked. Victor looked at Mia drawing at the kitchen table. Because once upon a time, someone helped me, he said. And my mother told me, when you have more than you need, make sure someone else doesn't go without. Alina's eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to repay you. Victor smiled softly. You already have. Months passed. Mia grew stronger. Alina found steadier work. Victor had quietly recommended her for a position at one of his foundation offices after seeing her accounting skills. She earned it herself. One day, a local journalist uncovered the story of the anonymous billionaire helping families. Victor's identity was revealed. The media swarmed. Headlines read, "Billionaire secretly pays groceries for struggling families." But what stunned everyone most wasn't the money. It was the reason. In an interview, Victor said, "It started with a carton of milk. A mother trying to protect her daughter's dignity. I saw my own childhood in her eyes. Wealth means nothing if it doesn't serve compassion." The story went viral. Not because he was rich, but because he remembered what it felt like to be poor. Years passed. Mia grew into a bright, determined young woman. Inspired by the kindness shown to her family, she pursued medicine. She wanted to help children like she once was, fragile, overlooked, struggling silently. Victor continued his philanthropic work, expanding it nationwide. But age caught up with him. One winter afternoon, strangely similar to the day he first saw Alina, Victor collapsed during a foundation event. He was rushed to the hospital. When he opened his eyes, a familiar face stood above him in a white coat. "Mr. Hale," she said gently, "you gave me milk when I was 6. His vision cleared. "Mia," he whispered. She smiled. "Yes, and now it's my turn." Tears rolled down his temples. The little girl on the bench had become his doctor. He recovered fully. And that day, as he left the hospital supported by Mia and Alina, he realized something profound. Kindness doesn't disappear. It multiplies. It grows. It returns in ways you never expect. A simple carton of milk had changed 3 lives. And through them, thousands more. Because compassion, once planted, never stops blooming. And in a world often cold and indifferent, one billionaire's memory of hunger became the warmth that fed an entire community. The end.